Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom to all our friends that are here. We're feeling your neshamas and your souls here. And all of you all online, mwah. We're sending you so much love this Shabbat. Obviously, we continue with some of the ongoing struggles and challenges. But our people, according to the Torah portion, has been through stuff before. We've stood up to Pharaoh in the past. We can stick up to the COVID Pharaoh today. It doesn't stop us from celebrating Shabbat, like being grateful, to praying, to taking some time to reflect on our lives and be grateful. Say, count our blessings even amongst the challenge. So we're going to dive in this couple of Shabbat service in our blue Siddurim. At home, you might have a link to it on a page, perhaps a daf of tefillah, special prayers, maybe, hopefully. And we begin together on page
18 with Yedid Nefesh. We're going to continue on page 21 with Shir Ladonai singing a new song. It takes a little time for me to ease into Shabbat, so that's what Kabbalat Shabbat is about. It's about opening our hearts into this way of being rather than doing, but that can't happen for most of us all at once. It happens slowly, and it happens through singing, through shifting our minds and our hearts that we can be in the world in a new way during Shabbat. So Shir Ladonai, a new song, page 21. Shir
Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol ha'aretz, Shir Ladonai, Ha'ol Shemo, Asurion, Le'yom Yeshuato,
Continue now again on page 21 with Yismechu Hashamayim. As we enter into Shabbat, we kind of like to imagine that not only the whole earth, but the whole universe is celebrating and finding joy. And so maybe you can imagine looking into the night sky and imagine the stars dancing. Or maybe you can think back on your week and just consider one point of joy that you want to bring with you into Shabbat.
Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz, Yismechu Hashamayim, 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 Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Iram hayah, Iram hayah, Iram hayah, U'elah. Iram hayah, Iram hayah, Iram hayah, U'elah.
Love the clapping in the sanctuary.
Amen.
So in just a moment, we're going to continue with Lecha Dodi on page 26 as we fully welcome Shabbat into our hearts, our souls. But before we do that, I just wanted to offer a kavanah, an intention, a thought as we move into Shabbat. So we are now at the beginning of the Hebrew month of Shvat. Sounds like Shabbat. It's very similar, but it's like one letter is different. It's Shvat. And in just about 10 days, we're actually going to celebrate Tu B'Shvat. So who here knows what we celebrate on Tu B'Shvat? Yeah. Yes, fantastic. She said plants. Very close. I mean, it's a kind of a plant. We celebrate trees.
Exactly.
We celebrate trees. We celebrate our connection to the earth. We celebrate things that grow up from the earth because we're really all connected. But it's a little strange because when we think about planting trees and also about blossoms coming on trees and leaves starting to grow out of the trees, we think about spring. And it doesn't feel very springy outside, at least not in Raleigh tonight. It's really cold. And so one of the beautiful things at the beginning of month of Shvat is that we remember that even though it's really cold outside right now, we're always kind of holding in our hearts and our minds that pretty soon we're going to celebrate Tu B'Shvat and the sap is going to begin to rise in the tree and give life, new life to the tree. And so too, in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Bo, we're at the end of the plagues. We're telling the story of Passover, the story of our going out of Egypt. And right now in the Torah portion, it is dark. It is literally dark. It is not an easy time. But we remember during this week's Parsha that we are going to make it out of the land of Egypt. And I want to make one last connection to this moment that we're in. This COVID thing is hard. I don't know about you, but I had a moment this week where I just felt despair. And it's so easy to feel like, oh my gosh, it's cold, it's dark. We're still dealing with this thing. But Judaism, our tradition, our teachings remind us that when we feel at our most difficult place, we need only feel the earth around us. We need only look up at the moon in the sky that is small and remember it's going to get better. It's going to get easier. That we're going to make it out of this challenging place. And so hopefully that spirit can help us move into Shabbat with a sense of peace. So we continue with Lecha Dodi, page 26. Lecha Dodi likrat Kabbalah Penei Shabbat Middle of page 30, 30. Minus
Tiroti, Adonai Taritzi, Al Yarish, Ben Barzi, Ben Secha, Ben Agila, Lehadodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavera, Lehadodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavera.
We rise and we face the
Face the
door,
door
and
as
we
if-
imagine that Shabbat is walking
Coming in.
right in to our hearts.
Boi
Boi
v'shalom,
atem itbara,
gam
b'simcha
u'b'tzora, toch emuneh asegura, boi chala, boi chala, lehadodi, likrat kana, b'nei Shabbat, nekavera, olehadodi, likrat kana, b'nei Shabbat, nekavera. We face the ark.
We
and
face
towards
the
the-
ark for the Baruch Hu.
Take a
as we
slight bow
face
for the
the
Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Moach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. So we're going to continue with the Shema. And the Shema prayer is about listening. And one of the easiest ways to help us listen is to get quiet and still. Maybe to take a deep breath. Maybe to think if there's stuff that still we're holding on to from the week, that we can set it aside, at least for Shabbat, at least for the next moment. As we prepare to say out loud what we know in our hearts and our experience, which is that beneath all the separation and the disconnection in our world, we are all one. We are all connected. Shema Yisrael. Ve'ahavta, page 39.
אהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו
הדברים
האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על אויביך, ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. So friends, now it's time for our Amidah, our standing silent prayer, which you can find on page 45 if you're following along in the Siddur, 45. But the Amidah is also a time when you can just open up your hearts and share with God in silence or in a whisper, whatever the prayer is that's on your heart this Shabbat. And so we stand right now as we prepare for the Amidah on page 45. We ask God to help us open our lips, our mouths, to find the words that are written on our hearts. Adonai, Sifatayti Tov, Uviagi Teiladecha. 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 So if there are any kids here who want to come on the bima and get some juice for Kiddush, feel free. Don't be shy. Page 55. Page 55. Or I can bring it to you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah קידשנו מצוותיו
ורצה בנו
בשבת קודשו
ואהבה ורצון יהיה לנו זיכרון מעשה בראשית
יהיו יום תפילה ומקווה קודש זכר לציון מצרים עמנו בארצה יצאנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. L'chaim, drink up. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
I am everybody.
You guys can give your cups to me here. Yes, you can. Of course you can. Absolutely. Whenever you come.
So
Well,
friends,
put
we
your old
always,
cups back.
every time we come together to
Awesome.
pray,
Awesome. Enjoy.
whether it's on Shabbat or during the week, whether we're praying in the morning or in the evening, we take a moment to remember where we came from, the people that we came from, the people who are no longer living, but who made it possible for us to be here. And so we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 59. All those who are in mourning are observing a yard site. We continue with Kaddish Yatom, page 59. Yitkadal
ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Amen. So we're going to close our tefillah, our prayers tonight, with the words Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. We pray that God will bring upon all of us, not only us here at Beth Meyer, but over the whole world, a big, big sukkah, a canopy, a blanket of peace that is big enough to cover the whole world. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'agula. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'agula. Salah,
Shabbat Shalom to everybody here, to everybody
Shalom.
joining us from home. Shabbat Shalom,
Shalom,
everyone. For those who are here, we hope you'll stay. We have a little nosh. I'm excited to introduce you guys.
Yes.
Binkley's, brilliant.
Yes.
Tell me your names. Meredith, great. And kids too. Hi,
Awesome.
Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Cora.
Oh, yes, Cora, I guess.
Cora
Ah,
and what's your other
Mimi.
one? Mimi. Yeah?
Awesome.
Mary. I'm having Naomi.
Naomi.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay, it's like a mass thing.
Awesome.
Naomi, I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Okay, brilliance. We have Brooke, Asher, Mabel. She's like me, Jonathan.
Good
And
job.
I'm happy for you guys to meet each other. So stay, get a little nosh.
Yes, we're going outside to eat,
Dessert,
right?
we're going
so it's out the
outside
tent.
for
You want your
dessert.
jackets on and stuff.
Yes.
We'll schmooze outside.
Spencer.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Spencer, kol
Diego,
hakavod.
thank you. Shabbat
Chazak
Shalom,
v'aman.
everybody.
Tezku v'imsu.